all these injuries kind of caught up to you guys tonight, second night of a back-to-back against that team?
Yeah, I think it's obviously a difficult situation, but this is sort of the place that a lot of teams are in right now. And, you got to play with the guys that you have. I still felt like we were competitive. We were there, just some momentary lapses there at the end of the game and different spurts to start the second half where, we kind of let them go on a few different runs. And, but it is tough, definitely, after a back-to-back shorthanded. But, you can't use that as an excuse because everybody's dealing with the same sort of circumstances here at the end of the year.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, Joe. This is twofold. From the first quarter on, did they change how they were guarding you? You came out, I think, with maybe a dozen in the first quarter and then maybe two the rest of the way. Did they change how they were guarding you? And secondly, Steve mentioned that there's a chance that KD could be back for the weekend. Could you just give us an idea how much you guys are looking forward to at least having him back out there on the court if that's what comes to fruition?
Yeah, I think, first of all, Toronto is a good defensive team. And, they make adjustments over the course of the game depending on who's making plays, who's not. Obviously, how they guarded Kai, loaded up on them, blitzing a lot of the ball screens, just trying to get the ball out of his hands. And then, they did a better job sort of just, being there on a lot of my catches, trying to take away threes, making guys put it on the deck. And then the second part, I think just, having him back, it'll be a world of difference. Obviously, like we mentioned earlier, we're obviously just extremely limited right now, 8, 9 guys. So, adding another body, especially somebody like Kevin, will be huge.
Stephen Bondi with the New York Daily News.
Hey, Joe. How important is it for you guys to get the number 1 seed? Is that something that you guys are focused on?
It's not really discussed much at all, to be honest, from the coaches or the players. I think our thought process is just, coming out, worrying about, each game that we have, not looking too far ahead. And as long as we play well, hopefully all that stuff kind of takes care of itself.
Malika Andrews, ESPN.
Joe, I don't think we're going to get a chance to talk to you before Friday. So if you would allow me, looking sort of ahead to the Celtics, they've been another team that sort of had the same consistency issues with who can be in and out of the lineup on any given night. What are you seeing from them? Have you seen much of them, watching them throughout this season?
Yeah, I mean, just, keeping tabs and watching the game. Obviously they've, like a lot of teams, dealt with their fair share of, lineup changes, haven't had a lot of consistency. Guys have been banged up, but they have been playing better here lately. Obviously at this junction in the season, guys are all competing to try and, jockey for position, especially now with play-in sort of scenarios. I know a lot of, teams that are sort of in that boat, you're ideally not, playing in the play-in game. So, this is a big stretch here to close out the season for a lot of different teams. And, again, you can't take anybody lightly. You can't look too far ahead. You got to focus, prepare on the game that's at hand. And, that's no different with us in the Celtics coming up.
Steve Lichtenstein with WFAN.
When you're talking about the tired legs, would it also be fair to say that the open threes that they were getting, particularly in the corners, that was more, you could chalk that up to the legs rather than mental breakdowns?
No, I think it's mental breakdowns probably more than anything else. You should still be able to close out regardless of how your body is feeling. But I think, fatigue affects your effort, obviously. And, those are just really effort plays, being able to lock in, mentally focus, making the right rotations. And, especially there late in the game, that's when you have to be really locked in, try not to make a lot of mistakes. And we gave them too many open look opportunities, too many chances to get 50-50 balls, a lot of sort of the effort plays where, we weren't able to make up ground that way.
Matt Brooks, Nets Daily.
Hey, Joe, in this run without James and Kevin, what is the biggest thing you guys have gained, the biggest thing you've learned, if anything, in this run?
I mean, I think we've learned that obviously we hope to have a healthy roster going in, to the playoffs and finishing out the regular season. You look across the league, everybody is banged up at this point, and health, taking care of your body, that's the number one priority for us and for a lot of teams throughout the league. If you're not at full strength, it's hard to compete at an elite level, and that's where we're trying to get.
Last question is Jolly Brown with NetsWire.
Hey Joe. So Bruce Brown picked up 14 boards tonight, and I have a two-part question on this one. Have you ever had a 6'3" guard that plays the sort of role he's playing for this team? And also, what does it mean to have a player like him at his size doing this kind of stuff for the team?
Yeah, I think, we've seen it from Bruce a lot of the season. He's just relentless, whether offensive, defensive glass, his length, athleticism. He's able to make a lot of those, 50-50 ball plays, second chance plays. But he's been huge for us. And tonight, no different. Obviously, statistically, he, had a huge game. But he's constantly doing all the little stuff. Making all the effort plays and just making, honestly, everybody else's job a lot easier. But I was happy to see him, knock down some threes tonight. But then obviously, the work on the board. So he's always there, and he had a big night tonight.